Hi everyone, welcome. Today we'll have a very special guide, an early game tempo guide. So many of our friends have been asking questions on locking units and the decisions in the early game. Today we'll be looking at tempo control in the first 10 rounds, which usually translates into a win or lose streak, which gives us a higher rate of coming to top 4 in every game. The early game is when builds are picked. Usually they are top rollers who get a win streak, and others who tend to force a losing streak tend to perform a little better. There are a few focus in the early game: picking builds, pairs into 2-star units, and let's look at round 1 to 3. Those are the PvE rounds where we get items. There will be a special guide on items as well in the future. Units I like to lock as a pair, so when we roll, we see 5 units. When we get a pair of the same kind, I like to lock Clockwork because we can go into Goblins, Mercs, and we can use Clockwork as an off tank for any builds before round 10. I like to lock a Bounty Hunter for Goblins and Assassins. We can build Bounty Hunter as a DPS or damage dealer for any other builds at 2-star. Anti-Mage is a very nice unit. He can go into Elves and Demons with Demon Hunters. He is the 1+ unit for any build because offensively he burns mana and locks down a unit. Defensively, he is great against demons. By disabling the demons' pure damage, the fell power, they cannot gain mana as fast, they cannot deal damage as fast. I'll lock for 2 of the same kind Tiny because we can go into Warriors and Elementals, which allows us to expand into multiple choices in the future. Tiny is usable even after round 17, unlike most of the 1-cost 2-stars, because in the Elemental Mages Assassins, he can provide the crucial stunning with his skill and his passive. Lastly, I'll lock for 2-star Mars, which goes into Warriors and Gods. Mars is a great tank at 2-star for Mages and Hunters. He also counters a lot of other builds from the mana gain. Most units cannot gain max mana when they hit Mars because Mars have a passive in the front, and because of that, Mars is a great tank for lots of builds. And if you have the Gods activated, a 2-star Mars is also a great damage dealer before round 10, and we often see those who find the 2-star Mars just stomp everyone and get a win streak. For the other pairs, I'll look at the third unit. So does it have the same race or the class as our pair? For example, we can have 2 Batriders and 1 Shadow Shaman, or 2 Axe plus 1 Tiny. My rule of thumb for this is, I ask myself, what would I be happy to see? My rule of thumb is, I ask myself, would I be happy to see those locked units on my next row? If the answer is yes, I'll lock without a doubt. If the answer is maybe, then I need to consider how risky and how reserved I want to play. If I want to go risky, I will not lock for it, I'll roll for the next row. If I want to be reserved, I'll take this as a acceptable roll if it's somewhat average of a roll. For round 4 to 9, those are the PvP rounds. I would like to collect 2-cost pairs because those pairs are the most game-changing units that we find as 2-star. Queen of Pain is a top pickup. She's a demon, which gains double mana from her pure demon damage, also great AoE and shorter cooldown. She fits in most of the lineup, just placed behind the tanks. Timbersaw is a great tank, AoE pure damage, and also he can be fit into most lineups at 2-star. Beastmaster is very weak at 1-star, but a monster at 2-star. Why is that? Simply because those axes do deal increasing damage as Beastmaster throws axe and as Beastmaster normal attack the enemy. Also at 2-star, Beastmaster have the necessary HP to survive for at least 1 or 2 axes sometimes. And also, as one of the few AoE physical damage dealers, Beastmaster works wonderfully with Undead. Morphling is an optional pair I like to collect. If I have a 2-star Tiny without a Razor, I'll definitely pick the Morphling. But if I have a Razor, I'll pick Razor over Morphling unless we're playing Assassins, because Morphling as Assassins and Elementals is very nice. Lastly, Chaos Knight is optional. He is great before round 15 when there are few units on the board. He is a very good bruiser that excels in singled fighting because his single target stun is very strong. But the downside with Chaos Knight is he is not great unless you have a Knight built with him after round 15 because he does fall off as more units come to the board. If we do find a 2-star Chaos Knight and Luna before round 13, those are the clear indicators we can go to Knights. Let's look at spending. Most people tend to level up when they have spare gold. I actually recommend taking a few moments to think about why we're leveling, and there should be other motivations behind this action of leveling. First, let's look at rates. The 1-cost units are always at the highest rate the lower the courier level is. What that means is level 4 you have the highest 1-cost rate, and level 5 the 1-cost unit rate actually goes down. On the other hand, 2-cost units are at the highest rate at 35% on the courier level 4 and level 5, and those are the levels we can try to stay on. Now, if I have 3 to 4 pairs, let me check. If I have 3 to 4 pairs of 1 and 2-cost units, leveling to 6 meant I will be only adding another weak 1-star because I don't have 2 stars. I'm having a lot of pairs, and this would punish myself with lower rates. In this game of RNG, every bit of the rates do matter a lot. Now, if we're winning and we want to protect the win streak, we have 2 choices. If we have multiple pairs that is 1 cost and 2 cost, it is worth us to roll for those pairs instead of leveling to level 6, adding another 1-star, because we're taking advantage of the higher rate and investing in protecting the win streak. This is the best way to do it. Now, without a win streak, but we have multiple pairs, sometimes I recommend staying on level 4, level 5 instead of leveling up. Those actions usually benefit a win streak. So what I meant by that is leveling up usually benefits a win streak because you become stronger, you add another unit. But without a win streak, there's no need for us to become stronger at this point. We might want to keep a losing streak, which tend to give us better economy because we can build up a losing streak. If we lose our losing streak early, it is a very common mistake because it is very hard said than done, and I do make those mistakes of accidentally losing our losing streak, which is something we'll be touching on as well. We can also level up fast for better rates. Why is that? Level 5 and level 6 provides higher 3-cost units rates. If we are playing assassins, knights, and mages, builds that need high-cost units, a 3-cost unit like Razor builds needs only Knight Abaddon, then it is worthy to level up early, taking advantage of the small chance of top rolling a purple unit as well. Maybe it's a Dragon Knight, Troll Warlord, or maybe Keeper of the Light. We can also build a new lineup around round 10 with a shiny purple, as I mentioned earlier. For example, we can have a Lone Druid, which takes us into Druids. We can have a Troll Warlord, we can go into Warriors, Knights, Warlocks with the Trolls. Lastly, we can have a Dragon Knight with Viper and Puck into the Dragons. That's a little typo. Keep in mind, when I say transition with a purple unit, I don't mean fully change out of our current build. If we're already playing Elves, we can go into the Druids. If we're already playing Warriors, we can go into the Troll Warriors. Similarly, if we're already playing Knights, we can go into the Dragon Knights. Or we can go into the Knights, or we can go into the Dragons and Mages. Or Dragons and Assassins. Round 10 is a PvE reflective round. The importance of this round is often neglected because over here we have enough time to check all the builds of the players in the game. We can even go over to their bench to see what are they hiding, what are they planning for the mid game. Are they planning with mages with Crystal Maiden and Razor, or are they planning to go into assassins with double Phantom Assassin, or maybe it's trolls. So by looking at their unit builds and their choices, we can evaluate our current build if this is the correct build we want to go into. For example, if we're playing assassins, there are 2+ other assassins player, or if we're playing warriors, there's 3+ other people who are running warriors. We need to see if we or they are the stronger player in this build. The indications are the 2-star units we can find. If we're the strongest, it is justifiable to stick with a common or heavily contested build. In other cases, when we're not the strongest player for this build, then we have to consider, do we want to stay in this build, or do we want to semi-transition out of this build into a niche build before round 15? This is very important because you are colliding with another player who heavily takes more units than you, who has better units and the units you're looking for. So let's look at this. Example, if we're running warriors and most people are going 6 warriors, we can consider to curve into beast, warlock warriors, or even troll warriors, and vice versa. We can go into 6 warriors when those are heavily contested. With assassins, we can consider mages with Queen of Pain and elementals. Why is that? Because there's so many people contesting 6 assassins, maybe there's not many people playing mages. This is when we capitalize on the scout information we get from level 10 and make an early adjustment before round 15. With mages, when there's too many people playing mages, 3 or 6 mages, we can consider going humans, beast mages, or even warrior mages with Lycan and Lone Druid. We can also add Conquer and Doom to the party as well. Lastly, with trolls and warriors, we can go into trolls and knights if no one is taking knights, and we can also consider knights and dragons if we are playing trolls and knights and there's too many trolls taken. We're not finding the trolls. So the highlight here for round 10 is to question our build, to evaluate if we're picking the right pathway for our build to maximize the chances of getting a good RNG roll. To summarize this guide, this is the first part of a short series guide which I'll be focusing each part of the game. This time we'll look at early game. Next time we'll be looking at savings and running a win streak or a losing streak. After that will be the mid game and the late game. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please leave in the comments if you have any questions, suggestions on this particular guide or the future guides. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for future guides and support me on YouTube. Please follow and subscribe to Twitch to support me on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for all your support so far. I'll see you guys on YouTube next time. Take care, my friends.